Welcome in to First Stop Sports, your first stop for the best sports debates. My name is Nate Long, host of the show, and joining alongside me, Jacksen, Strassburger, and Jace, Hodge. And today we're going right into it with what is the hardest position in sports to play. I'll go first, and my pick is defensive back in football. And when you look at defensive back, there's a lot of things that we can get into. I mean, the fact that they don't know the play, that they have to completely react based on what the wide receiver is doing. I mean, they have basically one-on-one on an island with one guy who knows the route, knows what he's doing, and you have to just guess at that point. Defense is like, offense comes in so many different formations. You have all the different things, which is why I think DB is the hardest to play. And the added little nugget would be because of how athletic you have to be as a DB compared to any other position on the field. Jace, let's hear what you think.
You mentioned the word athletic. You have to be athletic as well in mine. And mine, when you talk sports, you think football, you think basketball, you think soccer, you think baseball. How about an F1 driver? The amount of mental fortitude, the amount of training it takes to actually be an F1 driver is insane. And people don't understand how actually difficult it is to be an F1 driver because a split-second decision could literally change your life in that quick, a snap of a finger. F1 driver, you make one mistake, that's it. Your career's over right there. And an F1 driver, they face G-forces, the gravity forces are insane. And the amount of training they have to do with their neck and everything too, because they can really turn it with the race, how fast it's going. An F1 driver, man, it is really tough on your body, and to me, that's why it is the hardest position in sports.
Jacksen?
For me over here, I'm going with the hardest sport in my thing to do. The hardest position is catching in baseball, and then hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things you can do in any sport, and I don't think that's a question. And then you add the defensive element to it, it's easily catching. You're in your squat all game. You control the game. You have to know batters, pitchers, everything about it, everything that's going on at all time, the physical aspects, the mental aspects. Everything is just harder in any aspect than either of you two.
Well, you're wrong, obviously. I think Jace has the better case than you do. The only thing I would say is, how many chances do you get to go up a bat?
Three or four.
And
then you probably...
How many chances do you get for an F1 driver to compete in a race? One.
My thing is with yours, we are talking about the hardest position in sports, not the most dangerous.
I wasn't saying it. I was talking about the training and stuff too. I said training and stuff too. I had both cases. No. All of it goes entailed into hardest overall position. It's not. The danger aspect has to be considered in this argument because you're literally putting your life at risk, race in, race out. When you're playing catcher, playing DB, yes, you can get hurt, but it's not usually a life-ending injury. Bar maybe one or two rare instances. F1, we see this time in, time out, where a race car driver will get into an accident, and that's literally their life. The danger aspect has to be considered when you talk about hardest position because they know what they're going into. All these sports, they know what they're going into, but racing, it's a tough one to get into because, there's only 20 F1 drivers in the entire world. They're the 20 best drivers in the world, and they are some of the most athletically fit guys in the entire world. They're racing in extreme conditions sometimes, too. And inside the car, about 120 degrees. It is hot in that car, and they're wearing, these big old suits. They're sweating, they're losing 5 to 10 pounds per race. You have to talk about endurance and, the overall toughness it takes to be in this position.
So you think that right now, are you close? Which sport of the three position are you closer to being?
Me? Myself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Myself, probably the easiest, the one I think I could do the best would be defensive back.
You think you do defensive back the best?
Yes.
I think I could too.
You think defensive back would be the easiest?
I've caught baseball games before, and I think I could still do defensive back better than catching.
I think the three here is the easiest.
I think that the easiest is the F1.
No.
Because...
It's impossible.
How long have you been driving already?
How long have I been driving?
Yeah.
Since I was 16.
Since you were 16. How old are you?
22.
22. This is Unk, by the way. Unk on the screen. But 6 years.
6 years.
You've been driving.
Driving a regular car. You know the amount of pressure it takes on your legs is what to press the pedals in the F1 cars?
It's harder. I would say it's a little harder than driving on the highway. But
a little is like 200 times more harder than driving on the highway.
But
you are driving at 4 times the speed. You are driving in tight corners.
But
you are going against other cars who are trying to surpass you and hitting you.
You have a little experience already driving.
How much, like, that's what I'm saying, like, like a defensive back, like how much experience do you have?
None. But I'm just thinking in terms of general, what would be the easiest for someone to learn and do of a regular person's basis? It would be a defensive back.
No, and that's why that's definitely not the answer. Is because the one thing that you didn't mention is how athletic.
How many DBs are there in football?
How many good DBs are there in football?
There's more than 20 F1. There's an F1.
No, I didn't say there's not more than 20 DBs. How many good DBs are there? Because if you watch the game, from Sunday night, I mean, Patrick Mahomes just threw up a prayer, and luckily the Giants DB just tackled Hollywood Brown.
2 of them though. There was 2 of them there. Like that's another thing.
Two of them. I mean, like if you thinking in a true man-to-man situation, DB is the hardest to play, is because you have to mirror a man perfectly while keeping up with him athletically, going backwards, and not knowing the snap, and not knowing the play, and knowing the condition. I mean, all that on top of each other, I think, makes DB the hardest position.
That's why I think DB beats F1 driver, because you have to match a person.
You can make mistakes as a DB. That's going to happen. You cannot make a mistake as an F1 driver.
We're not talking about, we're talking one-on-one coverage. There's nobody behind you. You cannot make a mistake.
But you can. It's not going to be the end of your life like it would be in F1. It's not going to be the end of your career. It's not going to be the end of your game like it is in the NFL.
We're still talking about the hardest position to play.
Not dangerous.
Not dangerous. Okay, 100%. F1, most dangerous position in all sports. A F1 driver. No doubt in my mind. I think there's a mental aspect that goes to being a DB that beats being an F1 driver.
I don't think so either.
No, because there's somebody in your ear telling you what to do. It is not you making the decisions.
But you have to make a split-second decision.
When
you are going hundreds of miles per hour.
You're also being told what to do. How many laps ahead of what you're getting played?
And so the DBs aren't being told what to do as a defense? They aren't being told what coverage to play?
Not during the play.
They don't. Okay, they know what coverage to play. They don't know what the receiver is going to do. That's a split-second decision.
In timeout, okay. So yes, I mean there is the defensive coordinators, but Patrick Mahomes does it. A lot of different quarterbacks do it. They change the play at the line, and if you stick in that coverage, you're screwed. So when you look at, yes, they have to make very quick decisions as well. I mean, obviously it's not as life or death as it is in the F1 world, but when you look at DBs, I think the biggest thing that, and I know you said F1 drivers are athletic, but they're not athletic to the the standard that DBs are.
F1 drivers very underrated athletically.
Underrated. I'm not saying they're not athletic.
100% athletic.
F1 drivers could not go over and play DB.
A DB couldn't. If an F1 driver, if we're making the same argument.
Okay, if you make an F1 driver and you make him train to be a DB for a year, and you make a DB train to be an F1 driver for a year, I'm taking the DB.
I'm taking F1.
I'm taking the DB.
But I'm taking a catcher over any of this. I think a catcher is more athletic than a DB. If you give him a year to play football,
don't get me wrong. I think catcher is 100% harder than DB. 100%. I see where you're coming from. To me, catcher is the second hardest position behind F1 driver. So I'll try and argue you, but I also agree that catcher is hard. Defensive back, yes, it's difficult. Probably 4th or 5th in my list overall.
4th or 5th.
What's 3rd?
Quarterback.
I would say, okay, the reason I say catcher is they are a quarterback, basically, of a baseball team.
I agree.
There's a lot of people don't understand how many plays go into this, how much a catcher has to know about every single pitcher that they have on their team versus every single hitter on every other team, to break that down. And then they have to go do the hardest thing in every sport, any sport that is hitting a baseball. They say, Pete Rose said this, you have to square up a round ball with a round bat. That's impossible. And you have to go in there and do that. And to be successful, you have to do that 3 out of 10 times, and that's success. That's no other sport. If you are successful 3 out of 10 times, that is good.
I just when you say that, catcher is the hardest position to play, I just go into the fact of, for one, how many chances do you get at bat?
3 to 4, and maybe
3 to 4. But if you keep foul tipping, I mean, you're getting 8, 9.
If you get an 8-pitch at bat, you are lucky.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, the more chances you have on, the easier it makes it. I mean, obviously,
no, it doesn't. Doesn't make it easier the more chances you get. You still get. You might see more pitches, but they're going to be different pitches.
Well, obviously they're going to be different pitches, but
they're going to move differently. You're not going to get more chances you get, more chance that one leaves over the middle, but also more chance that you get the best pitch you've ever seen in your life.
I mean, but you're seeing the repetitive, everything is just over and over again. You're getting the same looks, and I mean, you're just watching the ball. So when you look at being a catcher.
You're just watching the ball. What do you mean you're just watching the ball?
Well, I mean, obviously, different pitches that come in. You watch the pitch, and then whether or not it's in the box, you swing, obviously, right?
Okay.
Yes. But like you have multiple chances on top of it over and over and over again to hit the ball.
Do you understand how hard it is to hit a baseball?
I know it's very hard.
How many chances? I bet if you had 100 chances of a high score college pitcher, you might touch the ball once.
Well, I'm not a college baseball player.
But I'm not. Yeah.
The same thing. I'd say the same thing. I mean, you go cover anyone in college or the NFL.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting it.
Freddie is cooking you every single time.
You're acting like it's easy. You're saying like it's like hitting a baseball is very easy, and you're just making it like all you got to do is swing at a ball in a box.
No, I'm saying is that DB is harder than that aspect.
No.
Yes.
Okay, mentally.
Okay, and let's talk about mental.
Talk about mental.
Yeah, because
let's talk mental, and I'm down with this too.
So pitching, right?
Pitching.
Yeah, you had to learn all these different pitchers, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, throwing a ball.
Yeah, except that you have one day you have a start pitcher. You know that ahead of time. You work with that one pitcher before, so you already know. And then obviously you have the bullpen, but bullpen, you already know those guys. So you're telling me that you need every day you need 3 or 4 guys. You need to know their pitches. That's it.
You need to depend on if it's a lefty or righty, what pitch he can throw. You're calling the entire game from behind there. You have to call, depending on who the batter, what pitch to throw. Depending on how this batter's doing in this week, what pitch to throw. How the pitcher's feeling this week. If he can't throw one pitch, if he's not looking good, you can't call that pitch. And you look at some relievers who have maybe 2, maybe 3 pitches.
But again, that goes to like that's not all in the catcher.
Yes, it is.
Like in between innings, he's getting coached. There is coaches for that.
The only people he talks to is his pitchers and his pitching coach, and they have a conversation, and is mostly led by the catcher because the catcher's on the field. He's talking about what he's seeing. The way they see the game is completely different than anybody else. Catcher changes the game. With a good defensive catcher, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be a little biased here with the Cardinals. From about 2004 to about 2022, they had the best defensive catcher of all time in Yadier Molina. He is the reason they won 2 World Series and went to a third. I mean, because of how he changed the game defensively. He led the team. I mean, he saw things and was able to relay it to his entire field without saying anything. I mean, the way you communicate with your team, the way he's able to talk, he's able to help and support his team. And, I mean, there's a stat out there from those years where Yachty was on the team. The Cardinals allowed, I don't know the exact number, I think it's somewhere about like 900 stolen bases. The next highest team, I don't remember what team it was, is like 1,300. That's the next one right there. And then the rest of the teams are way closer. So there's a 300-ish gap of stolen bases, and then that closes down. And it's probably 300 from second to last. And that's because he understood. Everybody was scared on the other team to run against him.
So we're not
changed the game.
I just want to reiterate that we're not saying that catcher is not a hard position to play. I just think that when it comes to catcher, there's a lot of things that when I was trying to explain earlier about you have multiple chances. Like everything looks the same when you look at it from like fastballs or fastballs. Am I wrong there? Like obviously
depending on who the pitcher is, some fastballs are different between pitcher.
But I mean it's
some pitchers don't have fastballs.
Well, going to every single pitch, Jackson, most of them look the same from pitcher to pitcher.
They have the same idea. Yes. I'll give you that.
So so when you go instead of there's like 40 different things. Well, there's not that many. I mean, you're not really changing up mentally that much. Am I wrong there?
I think you are.
I think
everything between pitcher, everything is different. So you can have one pitcher in the same batter, and then you can change that pitcher. Your entire strategy might change based on his pitch repertoire, based on how because his fastballs can move differently depending on who's throwing it. So one fastball cuts in, one fastball cuts away. You might not want to throw that to a left-handed hitter. If he's good at hitting the inside pitch, you want something that's going to break away from him.
I just don't understand how this is like all in the catcher. I guess I don't know.
The catcher has to know all this.
Yeah.
But then again, like it goes back to the same thing. Like you're not playing, and you know who's not playing that night.
To some extent, but sometimes
there's only one starter.
Okay, there's one starter that can change right before.
And then you have the bullpen. And then you have the bullpen.
And you have your bullpen. But starters can change very quickly if somebody gets hurt. Batters can change on the other team very quickly if somebody gets hurt or somebody's not feeling right. They can bring somebody in middle of the game. We did this conversation earlier. There's 14 batters on every team, and there's
you're going to see 9, maybe 10.
14 pitchers on every team. On his team. So he has to know all 14 of those pitchers. Mm-hmm. He has
to know
every batter.
But then again, it's the same, for the most part, it's the same 14 guys. So the connection they have to have with each other to be this strategic and be perfect with on the same level, everything has to be this you have to understand
Like, you don't ever see a lot of pitchers shake off a lot of catchers because catchers know what the pitcher's thinking. They have to communicate that as well.
I just think that, like, it's the same thing for DBs, though, like, play-wise. I mean, they got to know, hundreds of, blitzes, what to do in certain situations, coverages, and you're doing that all in a split second. And for them, it's more of an athletic challenge than it is anything else. For a catcher, yes, you squat the whole time, but I'm not sure if that's really anywhere near the athletic ability that a DB has to play.
The DB is definitely more athletic.
And what I'm saying is, I think, like, when you look at mental, they may have the mental edge, but I think athletic just completely busts open, like, of just how hard it is to be DB.
If we talk about physical stuff as well, if we're going to that, I would say DB 100% more athletic. Catcher is squatting for 150 plus pitches a game. They are wearing 20 pounds of gear every single game, sitting in that squat. They're sweating back there. They're blocking 95, 100 mile per hour fastballs. Sometimes they've got to jump up and down, get something out of the dirt. I mean, they're all over the place, throwing out runners, knowing and still having to use all this strategical stuff while all this physicality is going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, that just seems impossible, and you see people do it at the highest level all the time.
I just disagree. When you look at everything that comes into fruition, the DB has to learn all the plays and athletic, and there's a lot of mental game with the DB as well. But we are going to end it there because we want to know what you think. What is the hardest position to play in sports? My name is Nate Long. Big thanks to Jacksen Strassburger and Jace Hodge for being on the show. Let us know who is the best, and that's going to do it for First Stop Sports. You can check us out on Tuesdays on UND TV on YouTube or on Xfinity Channel 1096.